Everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a strategy, and I'm going to be focusing on a couple assets with this strategy because I think it'd be better if I go specifically on these assets to show you how to really trade it. You'll be trading on the day basically, and you basically need two indicators. You need your linear regression. What's the chart with the? Well, I'll show you. It's not the candles, but the other one. And then you'll need RSI. So you want to focus on the longer time frame. I recommend doing this on the daily because you'll get the best results. Today, I'm going to show you how to do it with the S&P 500. You can do S&P or you can do SPX. So if you want to do Robinhood, or Webull, you want to focus on SPY ticker. If you want to do it on Forex, you want to be focusing on SPX. But either way, it still works the same. I'm going to show you how to do this with SPY today with these two indicators and how to plug it in, look at this on the daily, and how to time it to get the best results. Okay, so the indicators that you're going to need for this is you're going to go to your indicators and you're going to go to linear. You go to linear regression. That's the top one. It's by UG, URUV there. You want to click that one. So what you want to do, you want to go to linear regression channel. And what it's going to look like default is like this. So whether you guys want this background or not, it's kind of distracting for me. So what I do is I go in the settings and I just turn down the opacity to 0 on these. And I'll make these lines different color. So anyway, that's how it looks basically. So you got your channel. So on a longer time frame, you are going to know the overall direction and where it's bouncing. And then you got your RSI there as well. So those are the only two that you need for this. So the strategy is really simple. What you want to do is you want to identify the overall direction by looking at it on the daily. So we can analyze the S&P 500 right now, and we can get a good idea of what the overall direction has been doing. Zoom out, and you can tell that it has been going up. The S&P has been going up. We're on the daily here. It has been going up since September 17th, 2024. So it has been an uptrend since then. So what you want to do is where you want to enter your trades is you want to get in on the bottom of the trend line, which is anything on this bottom low. So if the trend is going up, you want to get in on the bottom trend line here. So you want to get in at the closest point on the bottom here. So we see that a couple times. It does not happen a lot on the daily, so that's why you wait this out. I do recommend doing this on the day, but if you guys want to go down in time frames, you can. But I personally just look at this on the day. It gives me the best result. So let's just look at the couple times here where this does happen. The first time it happened was right here, which is where it started. You want to look at your RSI at this moment. At this moment, you want to get in when the RSI is crossing. So it has to get as close to the bottom. The candle has to get as close to the bottom, and the RSI has to be crossing down here. So that is when you enter your trade. When the candle gets as close to the bottom and the RSI is crossing, that's when you enter. So if you had entered here, now we'll look at a couple scenarios here. This is doing it on Robinhood, so you would literally had to wait for this to hit right here, and you would maybe hopefully bought maybe a week out if you bought your contracts. Now doing it on Robinhood or Webull, you have contracts. So, you're limited to how long you can hold it. But right here, let's get this closer here. So right here you want to enter here, and you write it out for, let's just say, a week. Let's just say your contracts were for a week. So you turned a little bit of money, and you were patient. You waited for the R side to cross, and you waited for the candle to reach the bottom of the line there, and you did your contract for 7 days. You made $1,510. That was the first one. Now the second one, now like I said, you have to wait for it. You enter your trade when it's touching the bottom here. So if you're doing this on Robinhood, your contracts would have expired. If you're doing this on Forex, you could have wrote it out as long as you wanted. That's the advantage of doing it in Forex. But the next move would have probably been right about here, because it gets close to the bottom right here. This would have been probably the next move to do on Robinhood or Webull. So right about here, you would have wrote it out, wrote this one out for maybe a week, wrote that one out for a week, and you would have made about $2,461 right there. And then you write it out, you wait, and as long as the channel does not change the direction, it's still going up. You wait for it to happen again. And the last time that happened was right here. So there was basically 3 moments. There was 3 moments, so you could have got in right here. This would have been your next time, and you could have rode this one out for a week if you're doing it on Robinhood. So let's just do a week, because the contracts. Okay, 8 days, you would have made about $2,489. Real quickly here, I'm going to show you. Now this is doing it on Robinhood and Webull. So do it if you want to do it on that way. So but if you want to do it on Forex, which is different, because you don't have to worry about expiration. Now it's the same thing, except the only difference here is you could ride this out for a lot longer. So basically, you could enter in the same moments. The only difference here, this is why I prefer doing it on Forex, because you can hold these for a lot longer. If you find the signal, you could ride this out for a lot longer, and you could be riding this entire thing up. You could still be riding it 79 days in, and you'd be up $500. I think that's $500. We'll have to check, but real quickly, I'm going to go over some numbers and show you how much you would make. Let's just say you got in right here, you saw that cross right here, and then you rode it all the way up here to the top. You rode it all the way up here to the top, so this is 51,000 ticks. So let's just see how much 51,000 ticks is when you're doing it on Forex. So if you're doing the S&P, and you're doing this at a 0.01, and you do this at 51,000 ticks, that's basically $500. That's $500. So basically this move right here, from here, you're taking a penny, basically, and up here to the top, you're basically making $500 from it. That's with doing it at 0.01. So if you did this at 0.10, you'd be at $5,000. And then you guys get the general idea. You can add it up. But basically, that is how you do it. It's up to you guys. If you want to do it on Robinhood or Webull, you're going to have to do SPY, and you're limited to how long you can hold it. If you want to do it on Forex, you can hold it for a lot longer. But the key to this strategy is looking at this on the day and waiting for it to come down to the bottom of the trend line, because the trend line is huge support, and it's been holding it for a very long time. So you had about 3 or 4 entry points. You had one right here, you had one right here, and you had one right here. So if you're doing this with contracts, there's 3 times you could have done it. If you're doing it on Forex, you could have held it for a lot longer. It's up to you. So I'm going to give you guys a little bonus for this video as well. What I also do, and if you want to scalp it more, like if you don't want to wait for all this, go to your indicators and go to your difference. Difference of 2 moving averages. And you want to punch in 13. 13 and 24 for your settings. And now if there's a lot of moments here that you want to get in, so like if you miss this right here, if you miss it on the day, basically you can look at this, stretch it out a bit, and you can find some other moments to scalp it. But you know, basically, I prefer getting in when it's touching the trend line. But these are all little scalps. Like you get this move right here. You want to get in when it goes all light green, like right here. Get in right there. You see it light green right here, so you could have got in for that one right there. You see it light green again here, so you want to go from dark green to light green. So this is another moment right here if you want to scalp that one. And then there's another moment right here, dark green to light green. You could have got in for that one right there. And then you could have got in for that one right there. So it's kind of small on that one, but it's a little choppy lately. But anyway, if you want to get in for little scalps and just look at this on the day, I found just looking at this on the day, you will get the better results. You don't really need to pay attention to any of the other time frames. You do have to be a little bit more patient to do this on the day. You know, just keep yourself busy, but just keep your eye on the chart. The first thing you want to look for is identifying the trend, which the trend is up for SPY. And then you want to get in when the candles are getting close to the trend line, and then just wait for the RSI to cross. And if you miss that, then the last resort there is doing the EMA difference. But that's the last resort if you really want to get into a trade. But really, I would stick to just the direction of the channel here and the RSI, and wait for the candle to come to the bottom. You'll get the best results doing it that way. Because if you came in at these bottoms, each time you came at these bottoms, every time it comes up, it's always higher than what it was before. So you're basically catching it at the bottom. So anyway, that's using this strategy for the S&P. It's really effective. You do have to have a lot of patience for it. So where we are right now, we want to wait for it to come back down and get as close to this trend line as possible, and wait for it to cross up with the RSI. That's be the next major move here. And if you guys are on my Discord, I'll let you know when that is. Anyways, that's the strategy in a nutshell. So anyway, this strategy is really effective. All you have to do is look at it on the day, wait for it to come down to that trend line, and wait for the RSI to cross. And usually you can catch the bottom. And depending on whichever one you want to do, Robinhood, Webull. On Robinhood and Webull, you have expiration, so you won't make as much. But if you do it on Forex, you can ride it out for as long as you want. And that's why I prefer doing it on Forex, because you can ride out you can get the most out of your money, because you can ride out for, if you really know when to enter, you can ride this out for a lot longer, and you can scale it up. Anyway, I find this works really well. I am going to go over the strategy again for some other assets to show you how they work for those assets as well. But I wanted to pinpoint specific assets using this strategy. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. See you guys in future videos.